Lakers get throttled last night on LeBron's 41st birthday by the Detroit Pistons, 128-106. In the big NFL news of the day, Lamar Jackson is back at practice ahead of their showdown against the Steelers on Sunday night for a shot to get in the playoffs. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Check the clock. What time is it? It's high noon.
I'll make you famous.
The day is half over. Now it's time to enter the Fletch Zone.
Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer. Actually, I think Jonathan Rifkin will take over then, and then John Schaefer's coming up at like 4 o'clock tonight. Busy day here on San Diego Sports 760 as we get you ready for 2026. How about that? Question for the text line right off the top, 70470. Start your message with team. Pick any sports figure in general. Just the sports adjacent is fine as well. Give them a New Year's resolution. I'm going to start off the top rope, and mine is for David O. Russell. Sammy, do you know who David O. Russell is?
The director?
The director of the upcoming John Madden movie.
Ooh, that's going to be fun.
David O. Russell, your New Year's resolution is for that movie not to suck, because I swear to God, if you disdain John Madden's name, I will be mad and angry and very violent, potentially. So it's a Nick Cage, David O. Russell, Shane Gillis, everyone involved with this project. Do not let it suck is New Year's resolution number one. That gets us started. You get how the game works. We'll do that throughout the day. Does that sound okay to you, Sammy?
Sounds good. I'm not a huge resolution guy, but last year...
These aren't for you. These are for people in the sports world.
Oh, people in the sports world. Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, personally last year, I remember on this show, we both made some, and our goal, both of us, was to be less humble. And I think
I think that was your goal.
I think we accomplished it. I think a year later, I look at myself and I'm very proud at what that we've been able to set goals that we can achieve. We're not going to get all mushy on here about how our life's going to change in the next 24 hours because it's January 1st. But for athletes, there's a lot of history that's going to be written in the next year. So I am excited. So get your resolutions in now. 70470. Start your message with team.
I like it a lot. Sports figures, resolutions. That's what we're doing over the next couple of hours here. We'll also talk a ton of sports. Aztecs got a big win last night in basketball. They got a huge game coming up on Saturday against Boise State. The NFL slate for the weekend is going to be wild. USC choked away an overtime bowl game against TCU last night. We'll kind of cover it all here on San Diego Sports 760. If it's your first time joining us, my name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. We're damn glad to have you. Thank you for being here. This is why we do this thing, is for you guys, and we appreciate you each and every single day. If you want to jump on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760, get in the chat there. And on Twitter or X at Fletch and Sammy, you can find us there. I did want to start out with Aztecs basketball. They had a nice win last night over San Jose State. Look, if you remember a year ago, 2 years ago, San Jose State has played San Diego State extremely tough over the last couple of years, and it was no different last night. The first half, San Diego State, I believe, shot almost 60% in the first half while holding San Jose State to under 40%, and it was a 4-point game, which was kind of shocking to me, as San Diego State metrically looked like they were doing everything right in that game, but San Jose State just kept hanging around, and they were doing it at the free throw line. They were doing it with offensive rebounding, and I was a little nervous, a little sweaty for the second half of play between San Diego State and San Jose State. But the Aztecs came out in the second half and kind of refocused defensively. In the last 5 minutes of the game, they went to kind of the kill lineup. They went small ball with 1 big and 4 out. And I like what the Aztecs did last night. And it feels like as Mountain West play is kind of resuming here and getting into a more normal schedule, the Aztecs are starting to figure out this rotation thing. And maybe game by game, they'll have different lineups they can go to. Last night, it was small ball. And I liked how it worked a lot with BJ Davis kind of running the offense in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game. And who knows what it's going to be against Boise State. But I think that's a luxury that this Aztecs team has, where they have a few different strategies they can go in the final 5 or 6 minutes of the game, and it's just going to be dependent on what happens in the first 25 minutes of the game. And I think we saw that play out last night, Sammy.
I liked what I saw last night from they had a big win on the road, 13 points. Early on in the game, Miles Bird, we talked about this a little bit before the show, Fletch. I love the aggressiveness, and he kind of took it upon himself to, you could tell, be like, I'm going to be a big time scorer tonight, because we've talked a lot about the big three, the Magoon Guas, the Miles Bird, the Reese Dixon Waters. There's been this weird kind of timeshare going on where it's who's taking the last shot, who's going to be the premier elite scorer. And it was nice to see Bird, because it feels like the first couple weeks he had been more of a distributor, a little bit more of a passer. And we know what Miles Bird can do on the offensive end of the floor. Loved what I saw from him. And then, 10 minutes into that game, you saw Sean Newman come off the bench, and he doesn't always have the sexiest stats. And if you didn't watch the game, you looked at it, you're like, why is this guy playing? But the Dutcher defense, the full court press they were putting on San Jose State 10 minutes into that game really messed them up. They really played into what the Aztecs do well. The Aztecs are not a front court heavy team. This is a guard and wing oriented team. And when they're trapping, when they're pressing, when they're making it hard for other teams to break their press and their defense, we know that Brian Dutcher staff, can be an elite defensive team, even if they haven't shown it at times this year early. But yes, huge road win. It's kind of, in a weird way, nice that it's like you kind of you're not flushing what happened the first couple of weeks, but you're kind of out of this, hey, we want to show out in the Players Era tournament, we're going to play Arizona and Michigan and Baylor. It is nice that, since that didn't really go the way the Aztecs wanted it to, now it's just about the Mountain West. And so far, so good. You're going to get a tough test in here on Saturday night, but the Aztecs, if they, to your point, kind of figure out that depth like they have, should be a threat going forward.
They had 40-something points off the bench last night. A lot of it was 18 from BJ Davis, but Reese Dixon Waters with a couple big threes at the end. He played 31 minutes in last night's game, which may be the most of any Aztec player this year. He had 10 points. I thought Pharaoh Compton played fantastic with 11 points. That's back-to-back performances now from Pharaoh, where we're starting to see the physicality that we all forecasted when he was a freshman. Looking at Pharaoh Compton like, oh, this dude could be this. Well, he's starting to turn into it. Pharaoh Compton is becoming a beast on both sides of the court, and it's been a lot of fun to see Pharaoh Compton sort of growing into that Aztec player that Brian Dutcher was recruiting, and he's starting to get a little smarter on the defensive end, starting to get a little better timing on the rebounds, and he's impacting the game in a big way on the offensive end. Look around the Mountain West. There's only one Pharaoh Compton. He's the only dude that has this blend of physicality and athleticism. So Pharaoh Compton can be a beast this year, and I think he's starting to become that beast. All right, let's get to the big three. Keep your texts and YouTube chats rolling in. We're looking for sports, figures, San Diego, professional, amateur, whatever. Get your texts in. We need sports, figures, resolutions here for the year 2026 on a very happy New Year's Eve to all of you and yours out there. Samuel, let's get to the big three here of hour number one. Go ahead, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Sam, we got a text here from the 858 saying I split long shots and hit on the two college picks. Thank you, I guess. What happened with long shots last night?
So it was looking fantastic. It was Luke Altmaier, quarterback for Illinois. They ended up winning, but he went under. Tanook Hines, freshman receiver for USC. Had
overtime game, had plenty of opportunity.
He had like 170 yards. VJ Edgecombe hit the game-winning three against Memphis. And DeAndre Ayton, my most surefire pick, I thought, would be rebounding and take it a little bit personally that the Lakers have not been rebounding the ball well against good competition, was awful last night. He had 2 rebounds total.
Blacklisted?
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Okay. Actually, you're on thin ice.
Yeah.
You're on Sammy Long's thin ice list.
It's verging there. He's not quite Ryan Nembhard or Karl Anthony Towns.
But we're getting there.
Okay. Speaking of the Lakers get trounced last night by the Detroit Pistons, 128-106. The Lakers have really been awful against the top tier competition in the league. Who is most to blame for you? Is this that the stars are not producing at the level? They don't play any defense? Is it JJ Redick? Is it Rob Pelinka putting this team together? What right now for you, Fletch, is why the Lakers are not succeeding?
Well, first and foremost, the Pistons are a damn fun basketball team to watch. They are fun to watch, man. This Cade Cunningham guy is fantastic. Duncan Robinson's fun. The Pistons have a very fun team for the first time in a long time. Jalen Duren is really fun to watch too. So keep an eye on the Pistons out of the East. But on the Lakers side of things, man, it's hard to take a bunch of blame and throw it at people here in the regular season, but it kind of does start with DeAndre Ayton, doesn't it? Like, this isn't a very good defensive team. He's not a very good defensive player, and I think a lot of us thought he would be coming out of college. But so far this year, it just hasn't really panned out that way. But you look at last night's game, and what, LaRavia? Is that how you say his name?
Yep.
who has had some really nice performances last night. I believe had the biggest plus minus in the bad direction on the entire team last night. The defensive problems are the problems for the Lakers right now.
It's the defense is pathetic, and it's kind of amazing the Lakers have 21 wins. It's a testament to how good their offense is. But you see, when Reeves, Rui, and Vincent aren't playing, and you don't have that elite offense, the defense is so bad that when you play the upper tier competition, you play Detroit, you play Houston, you play the Spurs in Oklahoma City, you get run. The Lakers are good enough to beat bad teams. They're good enough to beat decent teams. They're even good enough to beat good teams. They are not a title contender right now. The way they play defense, and it goes back to Luka and Reeves don't play defense, even though Reeves been missing the last couple of weeks. But you put up with it because of the offensive capabilities. LeBron is 41. He can't play defense at a clip like he used to because he's 41, except those three guys are making all the money and are the guys that are finishing the games. So if the Lakers want to have a shot this year, they have to go get 3-and-D guys. There has to be wing defenders. But if I'm the Lakers, I'm Rob Pelinka. I don't think you're just one 3-and-D piece away. I think you're multiple. I would save those picks, really kind of gear up for next year and see what can happen this year. But certainly frustrating watching the Los Angeles Lakers recently.
We got some texts coming in that are fantastic. We got one about Caleb Williams and Drake May that we'll read on the other side, but get them in. Sports figures, New Year's resolution, could be anyone, professional, college, who cares? Even like mine was a movie director, the guy who's directing the new John Madden movie, for that movie not to suck, because that would be brutal. All right, Sammy, big three, number three.
All right, we're number two. We're going Lamar Jackson. Breaking news today out of the NFL. Full participant in practice. They said starting the week he was going to be slightly under a 50-50 shot to play against Pittsburgh on Sunday. Question is this: who has to play better for their team to win on Sunday night? Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson if he plays?
Give me Lamar Jackson. Look, Aaron Rodgers had his time in the NFL. What was the first New Year's resolution I texted you, Sammy, for a sports figure?
You read it.
Aaron Rodgers retire in 2026 was the very first one I said, Sammy, when we were planning out the show today. Aaron Rodgers has had his time. It's shifted over, though. This is now Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Hell, throw Drake May in the mix. This is their league now. This is the younger generation of quarterbacks. It's their league. And if Lamar Jackson didn't play this week, I'd be seriously questioning Lamar Jackson. AFC North rivalry, win and get into the postseason. This is legacy building stuff for Lamar Jackson. This is, if he has a torn ACL, I look to Phillip Rivers and say he's playing in this game. So for Lamar Jackson, I'm glad he's playing. I'm glad that he's a full participant in practice. And this is one of those games where I look to Lamar Jackson and say, dude, go out there, put the team on your back, get it done, get the Ravens into the postseason.
I'm going to say, I agree with what you're saying in that Lamar probably has more pressure from it's a bigger deal if Lamar in a one-and-done game misses the playoffs, despite the fact that the Ravens have severely been injured. The defense has been absolutely picked apart. I don't think he has a number one receiver, and I don't think if they miss the playoffs, it's going to be Lamar Jackson's fault. But in a one-and-done game against the Steelers team with no DK Metcalf, we'll see on TJ Watt. Sounds like it's going to be a long shot, but he might play. It's a bad look if he loses this game. But for their team to win on Sunday, I'm going Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers has to have one of these vintage games. No DK Metcalf, no Darnell Washington. They had basically no completions of receivers at the end of the game. Remember the goal line stand? He threw it to Marquez Valdes-Scantling multiple times on Denzel Ward. The threats on the outside for the Steelers are pretty rough. Like it's Adam Thielen and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. And I don't know about you, but going into a game with those as being your top two receivers, not the best option. So for them to pull off this win, this upset win at home, the defense has got to show out, but Aaron Rodgers has to have some unbelievable game, because we talk about Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Herbert, all these guys, Burrow, elevating receivers. And Aaron Rodgers used to do that when he was in Green Bay in his prime. He's obviously not anymore. He's 41. We'll see if he can still do that. He's going to have to on Sunday if he wants to get into the postseason.
Is the NFL postseason better if the Ravens are in or if the Steelers are in? Because I'm saying Ravens.
That's a good question. I'm going to go Ravens, because I think you have the Lamar and Allen angle that they both have been tortured by Mahomes, right, and Mahomes isn't there, or Burrow. So I think it's the whoever goes farther with that. There's a shot they could meet in the first round, which would be great. I don't see the Steelers going far in the playoffs, where I could see the Ravens getting on a little bit of a heater.
So the Bills and the Ravens would both be low seeds in the AFC, which means there's a potential for them to potentially meet in the AFC Championship game. That's the storyline I would be looking out for.
Now, the one thing I will say in terms of the other way is we talked about it yesterday, an Aaron Rodgers Cinderella run.
See, that's cool. I legitimately, I get what you're saying, and that should be a cool storyline. I don't know that it does it for me. It might do it for people out there. Maybe I'm completely wrong on this, but when I hear that, I'm like, oh, this is something my brain should be attaching to and saying, oh, this is going to be a really cool thing. It doesn't to me.
It would just. I think what'd be interesting to me is in a league, rightfully so, that is all young. You don't have pocket passer quarterbacks anymore. You have mobile elite passers. For a guy who's a statue to go, a guy who's really been criticized outside of the one Super Bowl that he won.
Yeah.
He's lost to the Niners countless times for not getting it done in the postseason.
With
outside
some
of
badass rosters too.
With some great rosters, we'd look differently at Aaron Rodgers' career if he were able to win one. I'll say this for the other side, but college football, let's head to the college football playoff. It's starting tonight, so we got 4 matchups. I will read off the betting lines, despite some of our texters who are not happy with betting lines.
That's fine. Keep going,
Yeah,
Sammy.
exactly.
You be you.
Yeah, we love gambling here. All right, so the games today: Miami, Ohio State. Ohio State favored by 9.5. Tomorrow, Oregon, Texas Tech. Oregon favored by 2.5. Alabama, Indiana at the Rose Bowl. Indiana favored by 7. Ole Miss, Georgia. Georgia favored by 6. I'm setting the line at this at a half game. Fletch, will there be an outright underdog upset in this college football playoff round?
Yes, it is not going to come from the Georgia Ole Miss game. It's not going to come from Miami, Ohio State. I don't think Miami is going to be able to move the football at all down the field.
Beck's had some massive turnover problems.
It's going to come from either Alabama upsetting Indiana or Texas Tech upsetting, or Oregon upsetting Texas Tech.
Texas Tech upsetting Oregon. Oregon's actually a favorite despite the lower seed.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That might change my argument a little. It might be up to Alabama then, because dude, I don't know why, but I think Alabama is sick and tired of people like me and people like the entire panel of Fox who hates Alabama because ESPN loves Alabama. I think
ESPN does love them some Alabama.
They love them some Alabama. I do think Alabama might have a little bit of incentive to come in and kick some ass. And I don't know that they have the roster to do it against Indiana, but we've seen Indiana not light up the scoreboard in big moments this year. I look back to their championship game against Ohio State.
Right, they only scored 13 points.
It was a huge win. It was great, but it's not like they lit up the scoreboard. If Alabama can jump on them early, I do think that there's a shot. That's where my money would go, as a little sprinkle for an upset.
I think there will be an upset. I picked Oregon and Ohio State to meet in the championship game. I think this game tonight's actually going to be pretty close. I'm sticking with my picks. I hear everything you're saying about Alabama. I think Indiana wins. My outright upset, I think Ole Miss is beating Georgia.
Nah.
Ole Miss, despite not having Lane Kiffin, was up 3 scores on them earlier on in the year, and they gave up a 17-0 run at the end of the game. If you look at Georgia at times this season, take aside Kirby Smart and Gunnar Stockton, their biggest wins, Texas, few games like that, they either had late comebacks. The Texas game that they destroyed them was close until the fourth quarter when Arch Manning turned the ball over from his own 15-yard line at the end of that game. Ole Miss is playing with house money. Lane Kiffin ain't there. Everyone counted them out. No one's talking about their accomplishments this year. They're talking about the fact that their coach left, Trinidad Chambliss, Kyron Lacey. I think they're pulling out the outright upset in the Sugar Bowl down there in New Orleans.
All right. Coming up next, we got an update on the Holiday Bowl, which is coming up in 4 days now on January 2nd. We'll also have some NFL news and notes as we head into the final week of the regular season, and we'll read your texts and YouTube chats as well. We're asking you, if you could pick one sports figure to give a 2026 New Year's resolution to, give it to us on the text line 70470. Start your message with team on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. We already got some good ones rolling in. We'll read those on the other side as well. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
San Diego Sports Traffic.
This report is sponsored by iHeartAdvertising.com.
There's a crash well off the Johnson Avenue off-ramp for the eastbound 8. Car may have hit a light pole there, too. Stalled west 7-8 connector to the south 5. Also a crash south 5 Las Flores off to the right shoulder. South 5 slowing in Oceanside.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcast
San Diego Sports 760, the Holiday Bowl is coming up on January 2nd. John Schaefer, Rich Ornberger are going to be on the call. We are going to broadcast that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Kickoff's going to be at 5 o'clock on January 2nd. And I have heard that they have about 3,000 tickets left for the game. It's been awesome to see the sales coming in, but holidaybowl.com if you want to buy some tickets and keep an eye on the field at halftime. Sammy, have you seen the latest Instagram post from Big Rich, TD, and Fletch?
I have not. You guys are giving something away, right?
No. Well, yeah, there is a pair of tickets you could win to the Holiday Bowl over on 1015kgb.com. However, they put us in giant sumo inflatable wrestling balls.
Really?
And had us running around the field at Snapdragon Stadium because that is going to be the halftime show at the Holiday Bowl coming up on January 2nd.
So you're wrestling on that, like actually wrestling?
So there's going to be they're calling it an ornament race. So you're putting on one of those like hamster balls, except your head and your feet can come out of it.
Okay.
And they're going to have people from the stands, and there's a chance for you to be in one of those ornament balls at 1015kgb.com, but running like a 40-yard dash in these things. And I promise you, even if you're trying to make it non-contact, it's a full contact sport. Rich almost dislocated his shoulder when we went out there and did this. But it's fun, man. And you look goofy, you look silly, you feel kind of silly doing it, but it is so much fun to dress up.
I want to see you guys in a wrestling match with those things on.
Kat pretty much blasted Rich out of the ballpark. Dude, that girl.
Kat's working on her UFC grappling.
She's like 5'2". She's got some power in those legs, Sammy Long, and she went full speed and threw Rich Ornberger about 10 feet back. And I swear he almost dislocated his shoulder. Not a joke. He's still icing it.
Oh, wow. You got to check on Big Rich.
I know. Poor guy. Big guy, little heart.
Big heart.
Big heart. He's a sweetheart. All right. The text line, we're asking you today, if you had one New Year's resolution to give out to a sports figure, what would it be? We got a bunch of these coming in, so let's rip through a couple of them here before we get to the NFL. 760, New Year's resolution for Caleb Williams and Drake May. Drake May, teach Caleb how to make easy throws. Caleb, teach Drake May how to drink matcha. FedEx Trey, wishing y'all boys and everybody a happy and safe New Year's. Shout out to you, FedEx Trey.
FedEx Trey, the man. I was
Is
texting
Caleb
him last
Williams
night.
a matcha guy?
Is he a matcha guy?
I don't know.
Caleb could be a matcha. He spent some time in LA. He could be a matcha guy.
Seems like a matcha guy. Have you ever had matcha? It is disgusting.
Yeah, I'm not. I've had it once. I'm not a big matcha person.
Anything green that is liquid, I'm out on. 619. Here's a New Year's resolution for Sammy Long. Give an occasional update without betting lines and point spreads. Some of us don't care and aren't degenerate gamblers like him.
So, in honor of this texter, the Arizona SMU Holiday Bowl. Arizona is a 1.5 point favorite with the point total set at 52.5.
How do you feel about that?
I love gambling, so I'm gonna keep doing it. But I guess
how do you feel about the point spread and the over under the Holiday Bowl?
I'd probably lean Arizona. Fafita at quarterback.
Good game, 1.5 point spread.
Yeah, I think it's opened at 3, I believe, and it's been bet down. I think Arizona in the offense. I think there's gonna be more Arizona fans here than SMU fans because of the proximity. I'm gonna lean Arizona on the game.
The Zonies making the invasion.
The Zonas.
Lots of tickets have been sold. And Arizona's got a good fan base. SMU has a good fan base.
Yeah, SMU's had some good NFL stars recently too.
Dude, there was a Holiday Bowl. I want to say it was 2019 or 2018. I can't remember, where Utah was played in the Holiday Bowl. And at the time, I was still working 2 jobs. I was doing my radio job in the morning, and then I'd jump over and I was bussing tables in La Jolla, making way more money bussing tables, by the way. But when I was doing that, the week of the Holiday Bowl, the amount of Utah fans who invaded La Jolla was insane.
You know what's odd? I've had multiple guys I went to high school with, like a lot in San Diego, go to Utah. I think Utah is like the place that if you want to leave home, you go to Utah or Arizona State, but it's not too far away that you're not like going across the country. I've been to a game out in Utah.
Cool spot.
I was pissed off because USC lost, but it's Salt Lake City. It is what it is.
I've been to Salt Lake City once, and it was after I turned 21, and I was just pissed off the whole time because their Coors Lights are like half the percentage of what they should be.
Yeah, it's a very bland city.
I was there for a ski trip, which is amazing, and some of the ski resorts up there are incredible. But we would get beers to go up on the lift, and the beer would be like 2.5% alcohol.
Oh yeah, it's like some laws out there, right?
What are we doing here? Why did you ruin like the one good thing we have in this life?
Yeah, I'm not. You're not gonna catch me in Salt Lake City.
858 texts in says, I got Manny Machado a resolution. Oh, this one should be good, Sammy. Manny Machado resolution from the 858. He says late season urgency.
Ooh, very true.
I don't hate that one.
I mean, it's he's got a 209 batting average in the postseason. So 858, harsh truth, but I mean, you get paid to hit in the big moments, and one home run is not going to do it in the wild card series.
858 Mark Davis, his resolution should be to figure out to sell the team because I'm only 27, so I missed their golden age. I'm scared I'll die of old age before I ever get to experience a good Raiders football season. From Tyson.
Do you want Mendoza or Dante Moore? Who are you more excited about in the college football
he just wants Mark Davis to kick rocks and get lost. Dude, Mark Davis might be the smartest NFL owner in the world. I'm actually going to give Mark Davis a little bit of credit.
Did he eat at Applebee's? What does he eat at? Applebee's or whatever every day?
I don't know, but he got Las Vegas to pay for that entire stadium, essentially. Oh, yeah. He has his corporate suite sold out every single night from every other team. It's kind of incredible what the Raiders have been able to do, but Mark Davis is sitting back with his 27-year-old hot girlfriend and raking in the dough.
Well, my thing with the Raiders is, in all seriousness, it's Las Vegas. It's a brand of football that used to win in the 70s and 80s. You would think the Raiders, this is not some small market team.
No, go full Golden Knights, baby.
Right. They have a massive fan base. It's in Vegas, which is a great city. You're in the Southwest. It's good weather. I mean, there's a lot of positives. It is so odd that the Raiders it's been so long since they can get it right, but maybe getting the number 1 overall pick might be
2017. Derek Carr broke his arm.
2016, I think.
And then turned around and screamed to the sideline, "It's broken! It's broken!"
That was actually a bummer for Raider fans
because good team.
That team was pretty nice. That team could have done something.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break here. Keep those resolutions coming in. If you have a sports figure that you want to give a resolution to, text us 70470. Start your message with team, or jump in on the YouTube chat at San Diego Sports 760. We'll continue to read those as the show goes along. But coming up next, we got some big time NFL games and big time NFL news coming into week 18. Let's get to it on the other side at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Aztecs get a big win last night, 81-68. They'll be back Saturday night against Boise State live from Viejas. And tonight, the college football playoff second round gets going. Miami, Ohio State at 4:30. Ohio State is a 9.5-point favorite, with the point total being extremely low at 40.5. The once-a-year sale and clearance is here. Upgrade today with Mattress Firm's quality selection of top brands. Let their sleep experts find the perfect bed to help transform your nights. They make sleep easy.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 today. Jonathan Rifkin will take over at 2. John Schaefer will be here at 4 o'clock. Our buddy Jay Silves on YouTube saying Sony is set to invade San Diego during the winter as opposed to the summer. Bring them on in, baby. In fact, I'd rather them come during the winter, not during the summer, because that's the most annoying thing ever is like 4th of July weekend where all of a sudden you just see Arizona license plates everywhere.
Everywhere. Remember that weekend last year in July when I think the Diamondbacks were in town? I swear everywhere you looked, it was people from Phoenix or Arizona.
Have I told you my Zony story?
No, what's your Zony story?
It might be, okay, I'll do it as quickly as possible. So the condo we used to live in was in Mission Valley. There was a liquor store right down the street from it that we could walk to. So we would go if like it was a Saturday, we wanted to pick up stuff to bring back to the pool. So we walked down to that liquor store one day and I'd gotten to know the guy who owned it a little bit. And I was just buying like a case of beers and a case of seltzers for my wife, something like that. And we were going to go spend the day by the pool. And I walk in and I hear this dude screaming at somebody, Sammy. And I mean screaming at somebody. I walk into the place. There is an entire thing of Busch Light cracked open and spilled all over the floor. Some of the beer cans are like spinning around and spitting out beer, you know? And this guy is screaming. He said, go the F back to Arizona, because a bunch of people were in town for like a holiday weekend during the summer, and they walked into this liquor store, trashed the place. And sure enough, I walked back out into the parking lot, 3 cars, Arizona license plates. They were in there just ruining this guy's store.
As someone who lived in Phoenix last summer, it is Phoenix is a cool city. There's a lot to do, but that heat, it ain't San Diego. No. So literally every time I lived out there for like literally 3-4 months, and every time the people would be like, they're like, where are you from? Like San Diego. They're like, well, why are you here? Every time to a T, people are like, why did you come here? I ask myself the same question.
I got a father-in-law who lives in Arizona, and he spends about a week with us every summer. Once it gets up to like 114, 115 in Arizona, I don't blame him. But he behaves himself when he's here.
114 is kind. 120 is where it is. Whew.
I don't get it. And there's people that play golf and that stuff. I'm like, what?
And they like the cheap rates out there. It's got
just drinking water to have it leave your body 2 seconds later and sweat. All right, San Diego Sports 760. We got some huge NFL games coming up this weekend, so let's break down a couple of them here. I do think we have to start with the Bucs and the Panthers, who are going head to head. It's no longer a win and get in for the Bucs, because if the Falcons win their game, who are the Falcons playing? Do you remember?
Saints.
Falcons beat the Saints. Then even if the Bucs win against the Panthers are still the team that gets in. Which make sense? I don't know. But if the Falcons lose and the Bucs win, the Bucs get in. If the Panthers win, the whole conversation's irrelevant because the Panthers get in. So that game is kind of where it starts, because I think coming into this season, Sammy, it was kind of expected that Baker Mayfield, even if he didn't get to 10, 11, 12 wins, Baker Mayfield would be representing the division in the postseason. And if it wasn't Baker Mayfield, it was going to be Michael Penix and the Falcons, who have that all Madden roster. But that's just not how the season's played out. And all of a sudden, Bryce Young and the Panthers have made some serious noise. They got a good rookie wide receiver in Ted McMillan. They've helped out Bryce Young. They've protected him better this year, and he's starting to play better really since the last 4 or 5 games of last year. Are the Panthers, who have the most likely scenario to get into the postseason, a team that needs to be taken seriously in the NFC this year? I personally think the Bucs would be a better storyline in the
playoffs. The Bucs have been there before, and although they would be a home dog to whoever it is, the Niners, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Packers, whoever it is, that every team would be favored. Maybe the Packers because of the injuries. The Bucs, I still think Packers be favored. The Bucs have been there before. You have Baker Mayfield. You still have elite talent on the outside with Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka.
And they're finally healthy.
And let's not forget, after the first month of the season, everyone was like, is this the best team in the NFC? That was a conversation I remember us having on this show after the first 4 weeks. And they kept having all those late game comebacks, and I think that kind of caught up with them a little bit. And when the injuries kind of panned out, it is crazy though that Carolina is a win away from being in the postseason. And although I don't think that they would do anything, I think they would be the worst team in the postseason, regardless of AFC or NFC. if you would have told people that Bo Nix, Drake May, Caleb Williams, and Bryce Young a year ago would all be in the playoffs, and Mahomes is not, and Burrow's not, and maybe Lamar's not, I mean, you'd be called you crazy. You'd be like, what are you talking about? It is just the parity in the NFL for the fact that, and the Panthers are only going to get better. Like the defense is not that great. Ted McMillan, as you said, they got who's the running back from Dallas? It's been unreal for them this year.
Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle has been a complete, just fantastic ad for them. If you're Dallas, I think you're kicking yourself.
Like, I think he has the highest red zone efficiency as a running back in the league this year.
I mean, Dallas didn't have a run game last year. So if you're Dallas, despite the fact the offense was great, you're kicking yourself like, how did we let this guy walk out of the building? They're building something there. And it is cool to see the Bryce Young storyline from being number one pick.
Dude, he was left for dead. Do you remember how it came to be that he even played in a game?
The car crash for Andy Dalton.
Right.
Yeah.
He was left for dead, and then comes back last year, has some nice games towards the end of the season, and this year has been really good. I'm not going to go as far to say great, but he has some big wins under his belt. They beat the Rams just a few weeks ago. Like the Panthers have some big wins this year, and you feel like the future for them is looking pretty good. All right, Saturday night, Niners, Seahawks, maybe the game of the year in the NFL. It's for the number one seed in the NFC. Whoever wins that game is going to be representing the NFC as the one seed, get the first round bye.
Who needs it more?
I think the Niners need it more, if I'm being completely honest.
Than Seattle.
The Niners need the home field advantage more than Seattle does. I don't think, even if Seattle does get the number one seed, I don't think they represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I think there's other teams that can knock them off. If the Niners don't get the one seed, there's no shot they make the Super Bowl. If they do get it, I think it's likely they make the Super Bowl. So I think it means more for the Niners to get the one seed, get the first round bye, because that also opens it up for your captain, like the heart and soul of the team, Fred Warner, to be back for the postseason. He wouldn't be ready to go for a wild card round. He might be ready to go for the divisional round.
I think the Eagles, in a weird way, are a big factor in why it matters for who gets the one seed, because I think the Eagles' playoff success completely hinges on if they get to stay at Lincoln Financial Field. Because, again, we go back to this. Do they look good? No. Well, the defense is fantastic, and Vic Fangio and company, and Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell, Zach Bond, Jalen Carter.
Carter's playing. The defense is completely different. They're amazing.
They have 4 Pro Bowlers and 1 at every level and 2 in the secondary. So it shows you how good the Eagles' defense is. The offense has been terrible, and they held on by the skin of their teeth against the Bills. But to actually knock the Eagles out of contention, to actually beat them, you got to take it from the champ. And even though they haven't looked good and they look vulnerable and everyone's kind of fallen in love with the Niners or the Seahawks or the Rams for a large part of the season and all the kind of new storylines, the Bears, the Eagles are still sitting there going, we won the Super Bowl last year and we have that experience. So until they're done, they're done.
Rams, Eagles, game 1, who's favored? That's what the wild card matchup
Eagles
would be right now. I think the Rams would be favored in that game.
I think the Rams would be a slight favorite. But like I think if Philly gets Green Bay in the first round, I think Philly's winning that game.
Sure.
I think even Seattle, I go back and forth on it. I'm a massive Sam Darnold fan. I love what the Seattle's done. But going to Philly with that defense, Sam Darnold, we know, even though it pains me to say, hasn't been the best in the biggest games. Now he's rewriting that narrative because of what he did 2 weeks ago against the Rams. But I think that getting back to about the who needs it more, both teams are a big deal because the Niners need it because the defense, although it's been good, doesn't have its guys and Fred Warner come back. And Seattle's home field advantage is a really big deal. And the fact that Sam Darnold gets to play at home with that defense and pass rush versus going on the road, I think that the Eagles are sitting there at that 3 spot. Whoever gets to host Philly, potentially, if they were to win, they would have to win a couple games. It's a big deal. So I'm going to go with Seattle simply because the Niners have been there before and you have been in the Super Bowl. And although I dog Brock Purdy a lot, he has played in some big games. I'm pulling for Sam Darnold. We just haven't seen it yet. And I'd like to see Sam Darnold get to host some games versus have to go on the road.
Go ahead and say it, Sammy. And he's played well in those big games. Detroit
this year
and last year or 2 years ago. Detroit, the second half from Brock Purdy was amazing.
Second half was great.
Green Bay, the second half was amazing.
I mean, we're not going to crown him because we know what happened in the Super Bowl, but
he played well in the Super Bowl too.
I mean, he missed Ayuk in the back of the end zone, right, but that's fine.
Let's get to some of these YouTube comments before we get to long shots. SD Tyler, what kind of return do you guys think Kyler Murray would get if he does end up getting traded?
I think a lot.
I do too, man. He's
especially
still a young quarterback.
Tyler, I'm looking at Pittsburgh, and we'll see what happens this Sunday night.
Miami.
I feel like if you're Miami, you'd want to start over.
I think Miami wants Mac Jones. I really do.
Do you hear that report that Lamar maybe wants to go to Miami? Can you imagine Mike McDaniel with Lamar?
Makes a lot of sense. John Silva says, urgency, talking about the Mayday Machado text we got earlier about his New Year's resolution for late season urgency. Jay Silva says, urgency. You see, this is why I don't like reporters. Everyone remember when Manny Machado said that?
Yeah.
FedEx Trey.
Remember when he snapped at reporters for asking a perfectly reasonable question?
Totally fair question. That's why he hates reporters, Sammy. FedEx Trey says Caleb is a big matcha guy. Every Sunday during the tunnel walk, he has his matcha in his hand.
Shout out to Caleb. You know what I love about Caleb? Caleb's just him. He's not worried about, people clowning him for the fingernails and the matcha and all this stuff. He just does him.
Mm-hmm. SD Tyler, damn zonies. Cheers to that, SD
Damn.
Tyler. The damn I think
zonies.
Sammy technically qualifies as a zonie.
I'm not a zonie. I'm from California. I've lived in California my whole life.
Yeah, but you got a year left before we take the zonie title off of you.
Living there for 3 months for a summer. I've lived in Los Angeles, Palm Springs, Palm Desert, and San Diego. I'm a Californian.
Mm-hmm. Sure. 858 text in says Colin Cowherd seems dead set that Dante Moore is going to stay in college, but I'd say Mendoza anyways. Full send at this point. It may bring us a serious coach into the building finally. In worst case, we just still suck anyways. That's from Tyson talking about his Raiders.
I don't get real quick before we go to long shots. The Mendoza thing, like he's been fantastic, and we're gonna get to see finally Moore and him are both playing tomorrow in different games. It does feel like this just falling in love with Fernando Mendoza, and although he's been great this year, people trying to bill him as his can't miss number one pick prospect like we saw with Andrew Luck and Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow and guys like that. I don't see that from him. And maybe that all changes because he goes and wins a national championship, but I don't see that yet.
This text from the 615, I'm going to have to clean up quite a bit here. Talking about the Kyler Murray situation. Let me see what I can do here, 615, because it's a valid text, Sammy. It's valid. It just needs to be cleaned up a little bit.
I love our text.
But it's right. Like, he's not wrong. 615. I swear to God, if Miami trades one really short quarterback for another really short quarterback, I will absolutely lose my S in 2026. No Kyler Murray to the Dolphins. 615, you're right. It'd be going from Tua, who can't see over offensive lines. Now, Kyler's got a little more escapability than Tua, and he's actually found ways to cope with not being able to see over offensive lines.
I think Kyler's going to get paired with this draft class, someone who picks later, like takes a John
Kyler to the Colts.
That's interesting.
I don't hate that. Good offensive line, good run game.
Tua to Kyler.
Our
Miami Dolphins fans would come with that. We got to talk to CJ, our big sound guy. He would have an absolute meltdown.
Miami needs a 6'6" guy quarterback. Mendoza wouldn't be bad in Miami, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, they're winning all these. They're winning all these games now.
Yeah. All right, San Diego Sports 760. We're gonna take a quick break here. Long shots on the other side. See if we can get a winner for New Year's Eve. That's next, live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760 and ABC brings you New Year's Rockin' Eve. Performances by Diana Ross, Mariah Carey, Chappell Roan, Post Malone, and many, many more. Join Ryan Seacrest and Rita Ora for the biggest party of the year tonight. It's Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest live from Times Square tonight, starting at 5 o'clock on ABC. Sammy, big plans for New Year's Eve? Going out partying your face off?
We're pretty low key. We're not doing anything crazy. I think we might get a couple drinks. Don't know where at, but maybe a little Old Town, maybe a little go out. We figure it out. What about you? You got big party tonight?
We were gonna have a big party tonight at somebody's house, and that person had all their kids go and get sick on them. So yesterday around 7 o'clock, my wife texted the little group text that it was all going to be at the party and said, "Oh, no worries, we'll host."
No. So wait, what time are they all getting there?
I believe 6 o'clock tonight. Can't wait to. I'm really looking forward to hosting all our friends.
First off,
Sammy, for New Year's Eve.
You're having a New Year's Eve party. That's way too early for people to arrive. That's 6 hours of you having to entertain them before the ball even drops.
You know, I'm barbecuing. Got scalloped potatoes that are going to be in the oven. It's going to be just a great night.
See, I think you should have had them come over at 11 and then hard out by 1. So then it's like, listen, you're going to see the ball drop. Hey, oh my God, it's New Year's. Happy New Year, 2026, ringing in the New Year. All right, time for bed.
My grandma used to trick us and put on the New York version and change all the clocks in the house.
At 9 o'clock.
Should I do that? Do you think that'll work on adults?
I think...
Change all the clocks.
What kind of professions coming over?
Say it again.
What the people? What do they work in?
It's a lot of teachers. They're smart.
So academics.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to get tricked for that.
It's going to be a fun night.
If you had a party for sports talk radio hosts, that might work.
Oh yeah, it would work in a heartbeat, dude. Could you imagine Rich? He'd just look at the oven and be like, "Oh,
time to go."
Yep, time to go. Let's go, Andy. All right, we got a couple of YouTube chats here. One from our buddy Rich, who says Sammy was on a roll last night until DeAndre Ayton didn't show up. The lesson we all learned was to leave Sammy's Lakers and Chiefs homers picks off of long shots. And our buddy Tyler said, I agree. No more homer picks for Sammy. That should be his New Year's resolution.
First off, I did Keontae George a couple weeks ago against my Lakers. I told everyone that, and that cashed.
It worked. Yeah. But last night you said DeAndre Ayton's going to dominate the Pistons, and he struggled.
I don't do homer picks. I genuinely thought it was going to hit. Tanook Hines hit. What I didn't know is that DeAndre Ayton was going to decide as a starting center in the National Basketball Association to grab 2 rebounds on the night. So, listen, my fault. I apologize on behalf of San Diego and the greater Orange County area, but you know, it is what it is.
Let's end 2025 on a hot note. Sammy, go ahead, smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Say that to me and his man.
With long shots.
All right. Guess what?
What?
This is a special one today. Unfortunately we have no NFL on tomorrow. So Fletch, we're not on the air tomorrow, right?
Correct.
Okay. So this is going to be a all college football parlay. Okay, because we have all the college football games. I want everyone to have a little bit of action on these games. Maybe if you don't have a team, but you want something to root for. We have no NFL. It's going to be all college football. All right, we're going to start with the first game tonight. Ohio State and Miami. This is going to be a fun one. Miami's pass rush is one of the best in the entire college football. They're going to have 2 top 10 picks in Ruben Bain, and their pass rush is fantastic. The problem, though, for Miami is can Carson Beck get it done? He's been turnover prone. He used to play at Georgia. Now he's at Miami. My pick is this. Ohio State, true freshman running back, Bo Jackson, more than 75.5 rush yards. I think this is going to be a slugfest game. The point total is telling you this. It's 40.5. It means there's not going to be a lot of points. The one concern I have from Ohio State is they've only faced 2 top 20 defenses in the entire country, and that was Texas, where they scored 14, and Indiana, where they scored 10. I think this is Bo Jackson, the running back, to slow down the pass rush, more than 75.5 rush yards. Texas Tech, Oregon a slight favorite. They're the sexy pick. Everyone's going with them. Texas Tech has the best front 7 in the country. Jacob Rodriguez had a case for the Heisman at linebacker. Kenyon Sadiq, though, first round pick in the NFL draft, 45.5 receiving yards. This number's low for Oregon because of the front 7 that Texas Tech brings. I think there's going to be a lot of quick passing game with Dante Moore. Get those linebackers moving in space. So Kenyon Sadiq, more than 45.5 receiving yards. I think he gets this. I think he's going to have a lot of receptions, probably going to barely eclipse this. He is their big play guy over the middle. I think he's going to go after and try to shred that defense up the front 7. All right, 1 pick for every game. Indiana, Alabama. Isaiah Horton, wide receiver for Alabama, more than 33.5 passing yards, or receiving yards, excuse me. Alabama cannot run the football. That's the big problem of this game. Why I don't think they're going to do very well against Indiana. They are bad rushing their rushing attack is terrible. Excuse me.
There we go.
Give me Bernard, Isaiah Horton, Ryan Williams is one of the best trio receiver combinations in the country. I think they're going to be playing from behind with Ty Simpson. Isaiah Horton has come up in the biggest games. Oklahoma, Auburn, Oklahoma again. More than 33.5 receiving yards for him. In my final pick of the day, Trinidad Chambliss, more than 249.5 pass yards for Ole Miss. He was very kind of long shots a couple weeks ago. I told you earlier in the show, they're my one upset pick of the next 2 days. I think that they're going to go beat Georgia. I think this Kirby Smart team is a little bit overrated. If they didn't have the Georgia branding, I don't think they'd be getting the love that they are getting right now. Playing with house money, Trinidad Chambliss has hit his over in each of the last 5 games. His over-under usually is hanging around 270. It's dropped all the way down to 249.5 for Ole Miss. I think he's going to hit this. I think Ole Miss is going to pull off the upset. More than 249.5 pass yards for Trinidad Chambliss.
Can I throw out a quick wrinkle on that one?
Okay.
His pass plus rushing yards is at 279.
Do you want to add that? We can do that instead.
I just feel like he may have one of those like 50-yard rushing games.
Okay,
that could help us out on the passing total.
Okay, we're gonna change it. It's 271.5, right?
It's 279.5.
279.5. Okay, to recap, Trinidad Chambliss, quarterback for Ole Miss, more than 279.5 pass and rush yards. Isaiah Horton, wide receiver for Alabama, more than 33.5 receiving yards. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end for Oregon, more than 45.5 receiving yards. Bo Jackson, running back for Ohio State, more than 75.5 rush yards. It's going to give us a college football parlay heading into the weekend, which will be all NFL on Friday.
Our guy FedEx Trey saying you can take Smith and Tate, Ohio State's wide receivers, for a touchdown each.
I like that. The problem, though, is Miami's defense is one of the best pass rushers in the country. And Jeremiah Smith had said he was going to go to Ohio. He was going to go to Miami had their program been working at the time he came out. I think Miami's got something for him. I don't think Jeremiah Smith has a big game in this one.
But our boy SD Tyler said, is Julian Champagne gonna pop the cork and go over 9.5 on New Year's Eve?
Oh, I like that. It's a little San Antonio Spurs forward. I like that pick. Tyler,
it's a little name wordplay. I like it a lot, Tyler.
Tyler's always got some good NBA picks.
And then we got some dude named Christopher in the chat who is throwing fake news around, saying Harrison Bader signed with the Padres. Didn't he just sign with the Phillies?
I haven't got that alert.
I think he literally just signed with the Phillies yesterday. So sorry, Christopher, but thank you for being here. Appreciate you. It's San Diego Sports 760. We're going to take a quick break here. Hour number 2 is coming up next. And in hour number 2, we're going to look back at some of the best and some of the worst of 2025. And there's plenty of each. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by the Positive Coaching Alliance. San Diego State got a big win last night, 81-68 over San Jose State on the road. They'll be back Saturday night against Boise State at home, live from Viejas. You hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. The college football playoff gets going tonight. Miami, Ohio State, battle of the 2 and 10 seeds. Ohio State is a current 9.5-point favorite in that one. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
It's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. We still got a ways to go here on our final show of 2025. How about that, Sammy?
Final show of 2025. Fun year, I think.
Believe it or not, the first year we've been on the air full all the way through.
That's true.
Nuts to bolts, start to finish.
Hell yeah, look at us.
How about that?
They
haven't fired us yet, Sammy.
Look at you guys for sticking with us, keeping us around. We love all you.
Appreciate you all, including this texter from the 858 who says, Happy New Year's, boys. Love the show, and here's to wishing you guys great success in 2026. Keep up the great work, fellas. From San Marcos, Tyler, not SD Tyler, LOL.
San Marcos,
Tyler, what's going on? Thank you for being here.
Shout out to Tyler, man. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Sammy, it looks like you might need to reset your camera. While you do that, I'll let everybody know that it is San Diego Sports 760, and we're doing something on the text line today where we're asking you to pick one player out in the universe or one sports figure out in the universe to give a New Year's resolution to. We'll keep that going for about 30 more minutes, because coming up at 1:30, we're going to take a look back at 2025, give you the best of the sports world, give you the worst of the sports world. There is plenty of each. Records were broken in 2025. Players fell down draft boards in 2025. There were firsts for some organizations around professional sports. We'll give you all of it here in just a little bit. But I did want to start this hour off by just saying thank you to everybody who's listened to the show, who supported this show. We appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you for being here. This is the dream. Sammy and I get to play in the sandbox on a daily basis because of people out there like the 858, San Marcos, Tyler, SD Tyler, everybody who's in our YouTube chat every single day, like John Silva, FedEx, Trey, Big Rich McGuire, SD Tyler. Thank you, everybody who's been around this and helping us build this little family of ours that we have from noon to 2 here. And that's how I think of it. Think of it as a family. And so thank you for being here. We love you. And cheers to 2026.
Lori chiming in here. Yeah, seriously, we joke around a lot, but it means the world when you guys hit us up. Quacktown Padres just DMing us.
Salvador down in Tijuana.
It means the world when you guys tune in, spend a little part of your day, whether what's going on with us. So we love all you and are very excited for 2026.
And with that, I would like to give another resolution, this time to Diego Pavia. Vanderbilt lost that game, right?
They did lose the game.
They were just playing in a bowl game. Vanderbilt just lost.
But Iowa.
Here's my thing for Diego Pavia, who's become wildly famous here in 2025.
He's the quarterback for Vanderbilt that got snubbed for the Heisman, according to him, for those who don't know.
Whose mom might be going on a date with Theo Vaughn, might not be. There's been a lot around Diego Pavia this year. Here's my New Year's resolution for you. Just go ahead and start the podcast. Right? That's what it's all leading up to.
That media rights deal.
Yeah.
Hell, the Hawk Tua girl got what? How much money?
Millions.
Millions. She said one thing drunk at a bar outside Nashville. I mean, listen, you can create something for yourself.
It's probably not going to work out in the NFL. You're like 6'0", maybe even shorter. But you throw a nice football, but you're a wildly entertaining dude. So go ahead, just sign that deal with whoever you want to. Maybe iHeart wants to sign Diego Pavia.
Imagine us working with Diego Pavia every day.
Just go ahead and start that podcast. That's where this whole thing's heading. And you could just go right off the football career into your sunset, but you could stay relevant by doing a podcast. All right, Sam, let's get to the big three here of hour number 2. Go ahead, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Where would you like to start here in hour number 2?
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't know if anyone heard this, but so...
Future 49er, Trey Diggs?
Well, okay, there's a lot going on with the Cowboys. They cut Trayvon Diggs yesterday, which is going to be a big ad for whoever's going to be going to the postseason. Apparently, they have to pay him $450,000 to run out his contract. But Trayvon Diggs will be a good player for whoever he gets picked up. But George Pickens is a free agent in the offseason. His agent was Mogetta. I believe it's David Mogetta is his new agent, was Micah Parsons' agent. Now, this year, we're looking back on the year. Obviously, the Micah Parsons trade was one of the biggest things that happened in all of sports. And Jerry Jones has said that he will only work with the player, not the agent. And him and Mulgeta have a bad relationship. Dallas radio asked him about this morning, and he kind of basically doubled down or reiterated what he was saying. Who is in the right here? Will George Pickens be a Cowboy next year, or will he be playing somewhere else? And should the Cowboys re-sign him?
Well, all right, let's think about what the Cowboys have done this year, which I actually think has been pretty smart. Micah Parsons' contract, we're going to look back on this and say Dallas did the right thing by moving off of him, getting the draft picks, getting Kenny Clark. No one really thought this was going to be a massive Super Bowl year for the Cowboys anyways. And part of the problem was all their money was tied up in 3 or 4 players. And Micah Parsons was going to add to that list, not take away from that list. So ultimately, it might have been a smart decision for Jerry to just move on, trade him away, get what you got back. I kind of feel similarly about George Pickens. He's been a really nice add for this team. I don't think they have nearly the amount of success they had this year, which, let's be honest, was not a playoff team without George Pickens being a part of it. But you're going to run into that same problem over again. Ultimately, Dallas needs to start looking for the post-Dak Prescott era, which is coming soon. But that's where they need to be looking, right? You move on from Trayvon Diggs, you cut him, and guess what? You're getting cheaper for next year. It's probably a smart financial move for the Cowboys.
Breaking news, ironic that we're just talking about this. Trayvon Diggs will be joining the Packers.
Son of a...
Ian Rappaport right now. So pretty good ad for the Packers, actually, especially in that secondary. He's going to come in and help play immediately.
What the hell is going on here? Packers, what? The Packers?
They need some defensive reinforcements.
They're
Mike
just saying, hey, Cowboys and defensive failures over the last 2 years. We'll just bring you all over here and you can get injured with us.
He's joining his buddy, Micah.
Is that real?
It's
that's not Ian Rappaport,
literally just happened.
One R or something.
It literally just happened.
Look Are you sure? Did you get bamboozled? Did
FedEx
you
trade goes, no.
Yeah, FedEx trade are both pissed over here, understanding that
it just happened. Ian Rappaport. It literally, Ian Rappaport. It's real.
It's his real Twitter account?
Yes. Look it up right now while you're doing that. I would tell Jerry Jones this, and Jerry Jones with the whole I only deal with the players, like, it's nonsense. There's a reason you have agents so this doesn't get messy. Anyone who's listening right now,
son of a
who has worked,
Sammy was right. He's a Packer.
Anyone who's listening right now who's ever negotiated a contract with whatever employer you're with, or whether it's working at Target or you're running a Fortune 500 company, everyone knows it's easier to work through an agent. Okay, maybe not for like whatever jobs. Everyone has an agent. I don't have an agent, but in big contracts like this, the reason that people have agents is so it doesn't get personal. Jerry Jones, for some reason,
come on in. Let's discuss it over a Big Mac.
He wants to discuss it over a Big Mac because he wants to basically. George Pickens never negotiated a contract before. He knows he wants to work him over. I mean, this kind of started with Lamar wanting to negotiate by himself. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, though, I'm looking at one team only. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Look what happened to the Cincinnati Bengals when they decided to pay their top 2 star receivers. You're already paying CD. Dak Prescott, I think, has earned himself the stripes to be elevating. He can elevate okay receivers. You have Ryan Flournoy there. You have some good guys.
Packers signing Trayvon Diggs feel like such a waste.
No, I think
I'm sorry. I know you were cooking over there, but it feels like the Packers offensively are also injured. Adding one guy to the secondary doesn't seem like it's going to do anything.
I think it's a good ad for them, in especially knowing they're going to have to change and their pass rush is not going to be the same. They're probably going to play a little bit more of a shell coverage.
If you're looking at the NFC playoffs, the Packers, even with adding Trayvon Diggs, may jump a spot. If they were even with the Panthers at the bottom of the NFC playoffs, now they might just be slightly above the Panthers in the NFC playoffs. There were 3 or 4. He could have gone to the Eagles. Would have made a difference for them.
Yeah, but they already have 2 big time corners.
He could have gone to the Bears. It would have made a difference for them. He could have gone to the Niners. It would have made a difference.
FedEx Trey are Bears fans, and Sammy, you broke my heart. I'm sorry. Listen,
it feels like kind of a waste of a signing. I don't think
annoying. But just finish up what I was saying about the Cowboys. Cowboys, don't sign 2 big time receivers. You finally shed the Micah Parsons deal. You shed Trayvon Diggs. The whole thing was to redo the defense. Don't pay George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott and have no money to go with the defense. Look at what the Cincinnati Bengals defense ever since the big 3 got there. Has it been good? No, it hasn't. So I wouldn't do that.
It's the right point to make. It's the right comparison to make. I actually think that the Cowboys are looking smarter and smarter the more they get rid of.
Let's go to, so this came out that First Take was actually debating this. I thought it'd be a fun thing for everyone considering Christmas just happened. So the NBA's Christmas ratings hit a 15-year high and set social media marks, according to ESPN. About 47 million people in the U.S. watched at least some of the 5-game slate on ABC and ESPN.
Say the number one more time.
at least 47 million people tuned in at least once to one of the 5 games across ESPN and ABC, which is a high for
the Christmas games.
The Christmas games.
Weren't they? They were all on Netflix or Amazon.
Not the NBA. The NFL. The NFL was on Amazon and Netflix. The NBA hit career highs.
Gotcha.
They were debating this on ESPN. I'm curious everyone's thoughts. Who owns Christmas Day? The NFL or the NBA?
10 years ago was a no-brainer, obviously. That was the NBA's holiday. And
Right.
it was theirs, and we would all gather around after we opened presents and everything and sit down and watch whatever NBA games were on. I don't think that's the case anymore. What was on at your house, Sammy? Because where we were, it was NFL pretty much all day.
I obviously was watching the Chiefs. I was watching the NFL. I was watching a lot of basketball. I had them both up, but it is on Christmas, though. I will say this, and no one's a bigger NFL fan than me.
Like, the NFL games sucked this year
Right,
on
and
Christmas. They were meaningless games,
and they
I still
demolished-
feel like they demolished the NBA.
In saying this, the NFL demolishes everyone in ratings, including the NBA. And like, just how the NFL owns Thanksgiving and no one should ever schedule any event. I don't like when college basketball's on Thanksgiving. It just, to me, it feels like it should be.
Sammy also doesn't like family dinners on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, especially when the Chiefs are playing and losing to the Dallas Cowboys. But in terms of the Christmas Day, I love watching basketball on Christmas Day. Like, it's a tradition. For a lot of people, it feels like the NBA starts. They don't pay attention the first couple months of the year. I enjoy watching basketball on Christmas Day. They were having a whole heated debate about this on ESPN.
If all those NFL games meant something, like if the Chiefs didn't fall off the face of the earth this year,
it'd destroy every rating.
the NFL would have had a bigger imprint on Christmas this year. I guess you could say it's the NBA's holiday, but it's really not. It feels like it's in no man's land right now because this year's NFL games just kind of sucked. If the season played out like we thought it was going to play out, the NFL.
But the games look good heading into the year.
Absolutely. But it's just not how it panned out.
Third story. Let's go to the New England Patriots. So Trayvon Diggs is having a good day. He is going to the Green Bay Packers. Stephon Diggs, his brother, not a great week for the Diggs family.
You know how many DMs I got about the joke I made on there yesterday?
Oh, really?
I thought it was a funny joke.
Did our boss have a problem with it?
It was a funny joke.
I thought it was funny.
It was a funny joke.
I thought it was good. I thought it was.
Most people were laughing in the DMs.
Yeah, people are not sensitive. People are good.
It was a good joke.
I liked it.
I was pretty proud of it.
But Stephon Diggs, okay, so a lot going on there. Strangulation accusations by his chef. He is on charges. Christian Barmore, the defensive tackle from the New England Patriots, also on misdemeanor charges as of this morning. Not a great look heading in the playoffs.
Man, the Patriots are back. They got a quarterback slinging the football out there. They got position players getting arrested. This is prime Tom Brady. Literally.
My question is this. How worried are you about the New England Patriots amid all these distractions? Literally, 2 of their best players are facing federal charges.
Next year and the year after that, this Patriots team is building the right stuff. They got the head coach in place. They got the quarterback in place. We know Bob Kraft is a championship owner. They are starting to build towards something great. I don't think this is the year. Your mic is muted.
It's hard to talk on the radio when your mic's muted. Question, though, is this. What's a worse look? Broncos losing in the first round or New England losing in the first round?
Okay, here. This is a great question. It really is. Patriots.
Who's getting more criticism?
I don't think either of them really would deserve all that much criticism for losing in the first round. These are still very young teams with a very promising future. They got a kickstart to their early rebuild, and it's going better than expected, sooner than expected for both of these organizations. I will say it feels like the Broncos have more pressure on them because last year they were a postseason team.
I'm going to go Denver. Now, the Patriots have dominated, and they played a soft schedule, but in years going forward, despite the fact that the Buffalo Bills aren't going anywhere, Miami's in a rebuild. The Jets are the Jets, and anyone who watched that game on Sunday are atrocious. The problem with the Broncos is this. You've had about the most perfect season you could have. You've won all these one-score games, a lot like, and to people's credit, called out the Chiefs for a year ago, winning all these one-score games, saying there would be a regression. There obviously was massive regression. The Chiefs are at 6 wins right now and missing the playoffs. The Broncos are winning all these one-score games, playing a third-place schedule, knowing Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to reload for next year. The Chargers are going to get their offensive line back for next year. They play in an extremely brutal division. So I think if you're the Broncos, you're not going to – once you pay Bo Nix after next year, this defense is not going to be the same. Being able to pay this entire defense, adding Hufanga, adding Greenlaw, along with Surtain, these guys, is not going to be the same. So I think if you're Denver, it's much more pressing to go further this year than it would be, because I think the Patriots window is going to be open a little bit further down the road because of the division that they play in.
I'm also starting to think that Tennessee was the problem. It wasn't Mike Vrabel. It wasn't Malik Willis. It was the people building the roster in Tennessee, because you look at the success that Mike Vrabel's having. You look at Malik Willis jumps in because Jordan Love gets hurt and he plays awesome. Like, I don't think either of those guys were the problem. It was Tennessee in general. All right, and the Patriots are going to be fine for years to come. Denver, maybe this is your best chance because the division is going to be so much better in the future here. San Diego Sports 760 coming up for the rest of the show. Actually, we're looking back at 2025, giving you some of the best moments, some of the worst moments, and everything in between in the sports world. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. San Diego State basketball with a nice win last night. They're back on Saturday. They got Boise State. Pregame coverage gets going at 6. John Schaefer's going to have the call just after 7 right here on your home for the Aztecs. San Diego Sports 760. Boise State has more success than just about anybody inside of Viejas Arena. The Aztecs need a big stop on Saturday to get a win there in Mountain West play. All right, why don't we just start this off now, Sammy? This was initially planned for 1:30, but we got a couple minutes here. We can sit down on it. Let's go over some of the best and some of the worst of 2025 in the world of sports. I'm going to start us off, Sammy, if that's okay, with one of my best memories of 2025, and it actually happened with the two of us together, Sammy. We were out in beautiful Las Vegas. We were at the Circa Resort out in Las Vegas, and the two of us went full-hearted, clear eyes, with the mindset that we couldn't lose, and put $1,000 down between the two of us to enter into Circa Survivor, which is now going to be tradition. I think I'm doing this every single year.
Oh, we're definitely doing it every single year. That was one of the best things of the year. We had an absolute blast with all our listeners, everyone, all you guys chiming in and sharing your Survivor entries.
Hopefully next year the Bengals don't just...
I was about to say, if we're being negative,
behind the barn and shoot us in the face.
One of the worst days of my year was sitting at a bar and looking at next week's slate going, who are we going to pick? And going, the Jets aren't going to come back on Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals. That's not going to happen. Up 2 scores.
Dude, they had a 97.8% chance to win that game in the fourth quarter.
And then when, it's not your year when Breece Hall starts throwing touchdown passes.
And Justin Fields actually plays like a capable NFL quarterback.
I was very disappointed. Like,
I was sick to my stomach that day.
It's not hyperbole. I was like, bum the F out. Like, I was like, this is like ruined. I was like, what are Fletch and I going to talk about tomorrow?
We were counting our money already. We were ready to, I think there's 6 people left, by the way, in Circa Survivor.
Dude, first off, if you got to that point, like if we got,
how did you survive Thanksgiving? That's what I want to know. All 4 games on Thanksgiving were upsets.
Well, and what's crazy is this. Now this week, you might have been saving teams thinking that we're going to pick them. And now like the Eagles are resting everybody. That half the teams are not playing guys. So, I mean, you're sitting there going like, how do you eat? This is just a crapshoot at the end. To lose it on the final week would be I'd be too much for me to handle.
All right, let's rip through a couple of these good ones. How about SDFC? Their inaugural season was 2025. How fun was that going out to Snapdragon Stadium, watching professional soccer here in San Diego, falling in love with guys like Anders Dreyer, Chucky Lozano, Pellegrino, Luca De La Torre. It was a ton of fun. Thank you to the folks over at SDFC for bringing that here to San Diego. It was something that people have been clamoring for like 30 years. It introduced myself and Sammy to a new friend in Adrian Garcia Marquez, who's one of the most accomplished play-by-play voices in the history of radio, of sports broadcasting. And he was on the call here for the local club, SDFC. Congrats on 2025. Can't wait to see what we're doing here in the next few months.
I think what's so cool about SDFC is there's been a lot made about after the Chargers left, the San Diego was a sports city, not from people locally, but from people. The running joke always
it's a sports city.
Exactly.
It's a sports city.
And we know that. But there was a lot of jokes made nationwide. Everyone, the Chargers, Padres, there's a bunch of opposing fans because everyone wants to come to San Diego around the holidays or they're going to plan a trip to see their favorite team. They're going on the road. And it was cool seeing a lot like Vegas when Vegas got the Golden Knights. Vegas, there was a big narrative of that Vegas is such a tourist city. They couldn't really host a team. After the Chargers left, having SDFC come in and seeing the passion for being at those games was electric. Yeah. And from game one,
Chucky Lozano. Chucky Lozano.
I'm just impressed at the chants were money from day one. Like,
oh yeah, dude. The stands were packed. The people were on their feet with shirts off and full hearts for the entire game.
It was cool seeing the develop from like us having Mikey Varas on the show before the year and then being like, yeah, we're excited about this team, to going, hey, we're excited that they're here, to getting an upset win in the first match, to going, hey, that's awesome. Probably expecting them to tail off, to then all of a sudden winning all these games, being a top seed in the Western Conference, and then going to be the Final Four. Like, just what a crazy season. Can't wait for next year.
All right, I got a list of about 30 of these, and we just spent a bunch of time on 2 of them. So we're going to do more of them on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. San Diego State got a big win over San Jose State on the road last night, 81-68. They'll be back Saturday night against Boise State live from VA House Arena. The game will get going at 7. You hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. And tonight, college football playoff gets underway. Miami, Ohio State. Ohio State is currently a 9.5-point favorite in this one. There are 3 more games going on tomorrow. For victims of drunk and drugged driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you for our final 30 minutes of 2025. Good riddance, 25. What up, 2026? You're coming soon. I know you are. All right, we're going through some of the best, some of the worst sports moments in 2025. I would like to go all the way back to February of 2025 when it was the beginning of the end. It was the knife that finished the Kansas City Chiefs, at least for one full season.
Shut up.
The Super Bowl. The ass kicking that we all watched, we all celebrated as the Philadelphia Eagles curb stomped the Kansas City Chiefs, really decimating them all the way into this year. The dynasty over. You remember that one?
I'm just excited for this upcoming playoffs because, as I keep mentioning, it's fun when the Niner fans, aka Ben Fletcher, Jim Russell, Jason McIntyre, get excited.
He's a Jets fan. Don't you lump him in?
No, but he's now a Brock Purdy lover.
No, he's a Jets fan, and we don't like the Jets.
It's gonna be fun when it's not fun when they go, oh, we suck, we're injured. When they really believe, that's when it gets fun. So, guys, everyone,
Sammy,
all my Niners fans,
we weren't talking about the Niners. We were talking about the Super Bowl, which was a notable sports moment of 2025. It's something that happened. Can I get a little background music? A little
not for that one.
Festive 2026, welcoming in some Odd Sing Lang or however you say it. Oh,
is that what this is? Odd Saying Lang?
Something like that. I'm not exactly sure how to say it. How about this one? The Four Nations Face-Off. That was in February.
That was fun.
How about it was USA, it was Canada, and a couple other countries that I forget about.
I believe it was Finland, and I'm going to take a wild guess on Slovenia.
Sure. I don't remember all of them, but I remember USA and Canada because I remember Canada disrespecting the U.S. national anthem. And I remember the fight that ensued on puck drop.
That was an all-time moment.
Dude, it was an all-time moment. That happened in 2025. Also in hockey, Alexander Ovechkin broke the record in 2025.
Show some hockey some love.
Got to 900 career goals. Hockey had a hell of a year in 2025. Sammy, what do you got?
I got, so another one that we got on here. I can't believe this was this year. Shedeur Sanders fell all the way to the 5th round of the NFL draft after being possibly linked to go in the top 5. Ben Fletcher was celebrating it and ripping my guy Mel Kiper. And I think like Mel Kiper was saying is that how disrespected he was. And Mel and I, what we were saying is the value that the Browns were able to get for him, I think is paying off. I think for a 5th round pick, I think Shedeur Sanders has shown some potential. And they went to Joe Flacco. They went to Dylan Gabriel. Like we all said, we knew that would not work out. So now Shedeur Sanders is the starter going forward. And I'm sure the Browns won't have any more drama around the quarterback position and whether they should take one or not in the upcoming 2026 year.
Because all he's done is lose, except for one game against the Steelers. Congratulations to Shedeur Sanders, who was drafted all the way in the 5th round. That was April of 2025. All right, we move on just a little bit. Also in April of 2025, man, this was legitimately one of my favorite moments of the entire year. Rory McIlroy makes the putt.
Yes.
At the Masters. Rory completes the career Grand Slam. What had evaded him for decades at this point. He won everything else when he was younger. He hadn't gotten the Masters. And then when he stepped up on 18 and knocked in that putt and immediately collapsed in tears, there's a lot in the sports world that I think gets faked sometimes. And I think Rory's been part of this, where he maybe feigns enthusiasm or it's not real. You talk about 100% authenticity, something that could give you chills to your core every time you see it. Go watch that on YouTube. Rory McIlroy knocking in the putt on 18, collapsing and not being able to control himself for 20, 30 minutes after the fact. Rory McIlroy belongs on the best of 2025. Since then, he's been kind of a jerk, if we're being honest. But that moment was amazing.
Absolute classic moment. I think the whole country was pulling for Rory in that moment. It was cool seeing everyone get behind it. My favorite moment of the year, bar none, way back in January, was when Luka Doncic was traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers, changing the fortune of the Lakers franchise from going from likely 10 years of irrelevancy with Anthony Davis being the star to having a superstar now that the Lakers can build around moving forward. That made my year right off the jump. And then there was another star traded later on the year, Micah Parsons. So there's been rumors about Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Who is the next shoe to drop? Mega superstar, just like the ball will drop tonight, that will be playing on a new team next season.
We'll see. Yeah, Luka and Micah both leaving Dallas in 2025. I don't know if that was on the bingo card, especially Cowboys and Mavs fans. You were expecting to have those guys for the next 10 years, maybe.
Nico Harrison statue in the greater Los Angeles area.
All right. I don't even want to bring this one up, but it is notable. And when you talk about sports dominance in 2025, I don't know that it can be mentioned without Yoshinobu Yamamoto's postseason performance. Look, it's weird because if Yamamoto was on the, I don't know, give me an irrelevant baseball team, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they went on to win the World Series like the Dodgers won it, it would be wildly celebrated even here in San Diego. Yoshinobu Yamamoto went on one of the best runs we've ever seen pitching in this postseason this year. He was absolutely dominant. So yes, somehow the stupid Dodgers make my list.
It was exceptional.
Don't feel good about it.
It was an exceptional performance. And the one thing I'll say on it, I'm curious going forward how there's always been this thing of pitchers can't pitch in these short, quick rest. I think what Yoshinobu Yamamoto did in the World Series and before, I'm curious how it will change the postseason outings for other teams around. I think
our guy FedEx Trey bringing this one up. If Halliburton never gets hurt, the Thunder never win Game 7.
That is a very fair point.
It was early in the game too, wasn't it?
He had 12 points. It was in the first quarter. He had hit 4 threes.
And everyone knew it as soon as it happened. He'd been dealing with an injury the entire series, and then Halliburton goes down. Man, the Halliburton run, if we're being honest, that entire NBA postseason got somebody like me, who I've kind of sworn off the NBA in a lot of ways. I love basketball. College basketball is my sport, but the NBA hadn't been doing it for me. Tyrese Halliburton changed that for me last year. The way he was able to dominate early in the postseason, hitting game winners, coming up clutch, that whole Pacers team, that was fun as hell, man. And watching him go down hurt my heart.
That was sucked because it robbed us of an excellent, what was going to be a fantastic Game 7. It was really felt like David versus Goliath, even though Oklahoma City hadn't won it, but they kept winning. And the one thing I'll say with the Halliburton, it was fun for people who criticize the NBA about the lack of rivalries, which is a fair thing. I think the hatred rivalries we used to see between the Lakers, Celtics, Pistons, Bulls, those kind of teams has gone by the wayside. It was fun seeing the battle between the Knicks and the Pacers, him hitting the Reggie Miller choke at the Garden once again. It was fun.
Remember the Knicks fan that was at Madison Square Garden that got trash thrown at him, and then Halliburton flew him out private?
Like it was a fun. It felt like an old school playoff rivalry, and I liked that was back in the NBA.
It was a great postseason last year. We'll see if we can get one this year. Speaking of names we never heard of ahead of 2025, about Jordan Hudson. Jordan Hudson, the girlfriend of Bill Belichick. Not to mention Bill Belichick gets hired at the University of North Carolina. But 2025, what a run for Belichick and Hudson, or Bellison, or Hudacek. That was fun. It was a fun storyline. We all got to laugh about it. Now it seems kind of sad, but it was a fun storyline. I'd throw in Shane Gillis hosting the ESPYs.
I think that was fantastic.
The joke he made at the very beginning when he shouted out Brittany Hicks in the front row, WNBA superstar, who turns out to just be his buddy's wife, who happened to be there, that he laughed at all of us because we didn't know who WNBA players were. That was a great moment.
I have no comment on that.
Did you think Brittany Hicks was a WNBA player when he first pointed her out?
No comment. I'll give another one. I think that might get overlooked. We've talked a lot about this sport on this very show. I think the budding rivalry between Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner.
And the lady in between them.
The lady in between.
What's her name? Brooks Nader?
Brooks Nader. Whoever was on the night court session, she was at a night court session somewhere else. But
She wasn't playing on clay, though. She was playing on satin.
Who knows? Who knows what they're into? French Open. Carlos Alcaraz comes down 2 sets on the brink of elimination at plus 1,000 odds to come back, comes back and wins that one. I think the tennis stars deserve a little love. I will give another star. We're doing kind of solo sports.
Sure.
I think Terrence Crawford against Canelo Alvarez. The feet moving up 2 weight classes. Terrence Crawford retiring That was one. It was fun seeing big time boxing back, not just for the diehard fans. It was a fight that everyone watched. I really enjoyed that, and it was fun seeing the judges in boxing who don't always get things right finally get a fight right.
Or just boxing in general, giving you what you want. You wanted, after the disaster that was in 2025 as well, between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, that was such a joke, to fast forward a few months and get Bud Crawford versus Alcaraz. It was perfect. It was Canelo. It was exactly what we wanted. And it was a great fight, and Bud Crawford won it.
You threw another one on there, and I totally forgot about this. Remember at the beginning of the MLB season when torpedo bats were the hottest topic in all of sports?
Torpedo bats. That was a fun week and a half, 2 weeks, where we were all talking
the
like,
Yankees,
this is BS. Those went away.
Every team ordered the bats. And the Yankees, of course it was the Yankees that caused all this kind of drama.
It was Chisholm Jr., right?
Yeah, and Judge and Stanton hit like
a million home runs right off the bat.
The first weekend they hit something crazy as a team, like 15 home runs.
They had 6 in one game, and it was all torpedo bat users, and that's when people all started to lose their mind. Torpedo bats. That was a fun couple of weeks of Sports Talk Radio. How about the return of Phillip Rivers?
Yes.
When we first got that tweet that came down that said the Indianapolis Colts are working out Phillip Rivers, and we went, yeah, right. What? Grandpa coming off the couch? Yeah, right.
Philly Rib.
He comes out and he plays well. I don't think he's gotten a win with the Indianapolis Colts.
No, but he showed a lot.
And he's gotten out there and he slung it, and you could tell like what I think the biggest storyline with Phillip Rivers coming back and playing the way he did, there is still room for the great-minded quarterbacks in the NFL. Obviously, he's not going to run away from anyone, not that he ever really did when he was playing, but I think there's still room for the Phillip Rivers style of quarterback to play and have success in the NFL, because if we're talking honestly, Caleb Williams is a superstar athlete. I don't think he's that good at reading NFL defenses. He's getting better, but you could tell Phillip Rivers off the couch, not able to move, not really able to throw, still found success as a quarterback because he can read defenses and make changes at the line of scrimmage. It was great to see Phillip Rivers just for the emotions to come out and play. It was even better to see him have success.
Fun seeing the old guys play well. It was fun seeing him show up and compete, and it was cool. It was just great seeing Phillip Rivers at the mic again. It was cool. It felt like a little bit of San Diego on the national stage with him playing for the Colts. Another one, I think, that just happened. How about the Lane Kiffin saga of
talking about that picture he posted with the hot yogis?
Of course.
With his shirt off.
And
looked like it was a hot yoga class. He was very sweaty.
Him taking his team to the college football playoff, leaving that team to go to their most hated rival, the team not letting him coach.
By the way, like his daughter was dating someone on LSU.
The linebacker.
That storyline just kind of disappeared when he took the job.
Lane Kiffin, by the way, on their games tomorrow between Ole Miss and Georgia, apparently there's reports he might go to the game.
ESPN should have him on the desk.
Could you imagine him sitting there while the team's warming up? You think he's calling plays from the stands?
That'd be funny. All right, let's get one more in here. Sharon Moore.
Oh, no. We're going to end on that.
Just leave it at that. It's one of the craziest stories in 2025.
It is one of the craziest stories.
It's still in court, though. We probably
Sharon, buddy. Let's not do that.
Like, you talk about going from bad to worse. Like, we see this sometimes in football games. Like, a coach will call something early in a game that sets them up for failure later in the game, but they keep doubling down on it. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Like, Sharon, you already got fired, dude. You don't really need to go make this even worse on yourself.
You know what we can talk about is the fact that the past 2-3 years, the Michigan football program, amid scandal after scandal after scandal, somehow keeps evading punishment. And I've never seen anything like that.
It's all about money. All right, we're gonna reset long shots on the other side, the final one of 2025.
And I think we should do what we expect sports-wise in 2026. Let's look forward.
Super Bowl. Super Bowl, Sammy. Super Bowl.
I regret saying that.
San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you for a final time here in 2025. Cheers to everybody who's been a part of this show. We do appreciate you in a big, big way and looking forward to seeing you in 2026. Now, we're not going to have a show tomorrow. Sammy and I may actually head up to a casino together and throw some money down. You know, bring in the new year the only way we know how.
Bring in the new year with some walking around money.
That's the hope, right? We got a bankroll 2026's long shots, so might as well go make some tomorrow. The old-fashioned way.
Hell yeah.
God's way. The way God intended us to make money.
The way with a beer in your hand and someone smoking a cigarette right next to you. It's just
God, I love it.
God, casinos.
All right. If 2025 was the year you found us, the only words out of our mouths are thank you, and hopefully we see you in 2026. But thank you for being here for as much or as little as you have listened to us. We're hoping to be that home for you in San Diego on your lunch break. If you like gambling, if you like talking sports with your buddies, hey, we can be those buddies for you, at least from noon to 2 on a daily basis. All right, Sammy, what is the number one thing you want to see in the sports world in the year 2026?
I want to see
my Chiefs get back to the playoffs.
I want to see every person that is a fan of a team in the postseason this year. I'm happy for you. I really am. I'm glad that you get to experience what I've gotten to experience for a long time now. And I want everyone to savor the moment. And I'm talking to you, Ben Fletcher. I'm talking to everyone that's got a team and you've been cheering for months. That bad band, Patrick Mahomes, isn't there. I want you to enjoy this NFL postseason because we all know he's coming back. And for as much crap as everyone wants to talk about how the dynasty's done and the Chiefs are over and ha, Sammy, they're coming back with a vengeance. So
it might just be like 5 years from now.
Okay.
Tom Brady had a drought during his career also.
Win it this year because that bad man's coming back. He's not going anywhere.
Here's the thing. If the 49ers do win the Super Bowl this year, I'm rich. So, Sammy, I'd be happy because of the bets I've placed this year to buy you a Brock Purdy jersey when the 49ers win the Super Bowl.
I would never wear that. I mean, that is just awful. 615 says, Happy New Year's, boys. Thank you for all you do. Helping us get through our days out here. Love you, fam. 615. That means a lot. Thank you for listening, man. Every time you guys tune in, spend a little part of your day with us, it really means the world to us.
So. If we're going to read the heartwarming text, we got to get this one from the 858. Yeah. On a real note, you guys are the best local sports show in a long time.
Hey.
Easily my favorite show on iHeart. Thank you. Who dat?
That's our Saints fan.
858, thank you for being here. He also says, mark my words, Diego Pavia will fall to the Chiefs and start for them next year.
God, no.
Yup, Sammy. Yup, that is your starting quarterback.
No.
Different 858 number says, Auld Lang Syne is a traditional Scottish song famously arranged by Robert Burns, meaning for old time's sake, sung globally to mark the end of the new year for New Year's Eve and graduations and funerals, other farewells, celebrating friendship, nostalgia, and shared memories with a cup of kindness.
Shout out to the 858 for a little history lesson. Cup of kindness
knows how to use ChatGPT. Sammy, can you give me a little bit of that on our way out?
The cup of kindness could be some various cocktails tonight. Cup of kindness.
I am going to have some various cocktails tonight.
What are you drinking tonight? We got 30 seconds left.
Well, I'm going to end the year just like I started the year with a nice big cup of whiskey.
Cup of kindness.
Let's head into 2026 the best possible way.
You know what they call tequila?
No.
Cup of confidence.
Tequila is going to make me dangerous, man, in 2026. All right, we're getting out of here. Thank you for being here. For any time you shared with us in 2025, cheers to you and yours. We'll see y'all next year, meaning on Friday. Goodbye for now. Jonathan Rifkin coming up next.